So far, everything we've done has been fairly generic, but in the next phase, we'll have to start making artistic and stylistic decisions. What style do we want to use? How do we achieve that style? Or worse yet, the most difficult question of all, how can I find my own style? While we look at some of my work in different styles, let me give you some tips that have been helpful in developing my work. The first thing we need to ask ourselves is, what really is style? In my view, style is a set of stylistic decisions that we artists make throughout the learning process and that become part of our own expressive language. As an example, look at the ears of my characters. Have you noticed something interesting? If you look at the ears of my characters, you'll see they are all more or less the same and that, in fact, they are not very realistic. This way of drawing ears became natural for me after drawing for a long time and trying different methods. In the end, I found myself comfortable with this expressive and schematic way of drawing ears, although not very realistic. Ever since I found this way of drawing ears, every time I draw a character, I automatically do it the same way. It is my style of drawing ears. In my opinion, that's what style is, and it applies to everything, to eyes, to noses, to mouths, to hair, to the entire body. If you draw long enough, you will end up developing your own style. To find it, my first recommendation is that if you don't have much experience drawing, don't be afraid to try copying any style you like. If you like anime, copy the style of your favorite author. If you like American comics, try replicating that style. If you follow an artist on Instagram, or even if you like my designs, copy their style. There's nothing wrong with it, and you'll learn a lot by doing so. Some people are afraid to do this because they seek to be original. This is an absolutely understandable aspiration, since being original is one of the greatest achievements an artist can aspire to, in my opinion. In this respect, I think it's not necessary to worry too much. Unless you have innate talent and technique, it's very likely that even if you try to copy the style of a professional artist, what you get will be somewhat different from what he does. This is because during the drawing process, the style you're observing is altered by your own perception and artistic abilities. So even trying to copy as faithfully as possible the style of a single author, the chances are you'll end up with something quite different and personal. Nevertheless, I also think it's very advisable to work on the style of several authors, at least 3. If you copy the style of various authors or styles, you'll end up incorporating into your own style things from all these sources filtered by your own personal traits, which will end up resulting in a unique and attractive mix. In my case, I think I've mentioned it before, but if I had to choose what have been the biggest influences when developing my personal style, I would say they are Mike Mignola, the art of the video game saga Monkey Island, and animes like Dragon Ball, although I have many other influences. Therefore, my advice is that for the moment, don't worry too much about style, and try to replicate something you like. If you keep practicing and applying the tips and techniques from this course for long enough, you won't take too long to develop your style naturally. So, prepare the references that you like and focus on enjoying the process. It will be more fun if you draw things you like or that interest you. If you feel stuck or prefer something more directed, you are more than welcome to use the same references that I'm going to use. If you do, you'll be able to compare your results with mine more easily. For my part, these are the references I have selected for the next exercise. I want to draw a pirate based on a real person I saw this summer on vacation. He was the captain of a small boat in Greece. Unfortunately, I didn't take his picture because I am a very shy person, but he seemed like a very charismatic person. He looked like a character out of a comic book. Since I don't have any pictures of this sailor, I've collected some images based on the facial features I remember from his face. He had a big mustache, a bit of a beard, light eyes, tanned skin, and dark wavy hair. I think these references, along with the structure we built in the previous lesson, will be enough to make something interesting. We will start defining our character in the next lesson. Compile your new references in a new PureRef document. The references we used in the exercises were quite generic and schematic because we wanted to focus on the core and more schematic elements of the facial and cranial structure. For this exercise, focus on the expressiveness of the character and the traits you want to be more characteristic. The gaze, the nose, the shape of the skull. Don't be afraid to choose exaggerated and cartoonish characters. That will make the process more interesting.